Hey everybody, my name is Francesca and today I'll be presenting my findings on a very important question. Do the colors of my clothes affect the heat my body receives? I am currently situated in the latitude of 18 north and the longitude of 70 west, above the equator in the northern and western hemispheres. With a tropical climate all year round, it's very common to hear people say that you should dress with certain colors or that your car should be a certain color to avoid heat. My hypothesis is that the clothes with the colors near the black spectrum are going to be hotter, while the clothes with the colors near the white spectrum are going to be cooler. In order to prove or not my hypothesis, I will look back on an experiment I did back in September 2021. Which was the Herschel experiment. William Herschel discovered infrared radiations back in the 1800s. Basically, in the experiment, I took a glass prism, let sunlight pass through it to create a spectrum, and measured the heat given off at various points in the spectrum using thermometers. With this experiment, Herschel discovered that there was more heat beyond the red part of the spectrum. In our planet, we receive all colors of the spectrum through sunlight, which is called white light or polychromatic light. I've also learned that light travels in waves, which can be absorbed, reflected, scattered, or even bent when they come in contact with matter. And that colors are not present in matter, but rather they originate from the light that's absorbed or reflected when coming in contact with objects. So I proceeded to set up an experiment to see if different colors of clothing produced more heat than others. For that, I acquired 9 clinical thermometers of the same brand and exposed them to the same amount of sunlight for the same amount of time. I'm recording my findings, which you can see in the next table and chart. What did I find out? The darker the color, the higher the thermometer's temperature was. When something looks white, it's because it's made up of all the colors of the rainbow. Then what happens with black? Well, black is not a color. It's the absence of color. Why? Well, because when light hits the color black, it absorbs all of the visible colors from the light spectrum and reflects none of them. Light energy converts to heat energy when it's absorbed. So the more something absorbs light, the more heat it will produce. Meaning that it's not the color that makes my vest produce more heat, but the absence of white pigment. For example, the purple we used was more of a light lavender. That's why the temperature of that thermometer was actually cooler than a lot of the other darker colors. If I had used a darker purple, then the temperatures would have probably been higher. So next time your zone is hitting a heat wave, make sure to wear your favorite color, but on a lighter shade.